On this week's show, Peloton has a new hip hop tour of classes, plus new strength programs coming from Ben and Jermaine.
Plus, Peloton Studios New York is now checking IDs for classes. Peloton was on sale for Amazon Prime Day, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community. Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt. By the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 137 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I am joined back together with my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey, Amanda. How you doing?
I am good. I am good. Happy to have you back. I won't tell you how I gushed over John Mills and told him how much I loved doing it with him, and not to tell you. Now I'm telling you. All these Johns in my life: John Mills, John Pruitt, John Husking. Oh my goodness!
Can't escape them.
I can't escape them, but he did great, and he was a great fill-in. I hope you had an awesome week with your mom.
Yeah,
it's always
she's
nice
back.
To get to.
She's back in New Jersey, and yeah, it was a good time. We stayed local, in the Ann Arbor area, and yeah, just had some fun outings, and yeah, it was kind of a low-key visit. It was nice. She and incidentally, she really enjoyed the entertainment feature on our Peloton tread. While she was here,
Nice.
I got her set up on the tread, and she was enjoying some episodes of Schitt's Creek while she was getting some walks in. So good for
That's
Cynthia.
so cute.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Her and Elise should have walked together. That is mom.
Yeah.
The two of them. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy. That's so great. That's so great. Yeah, well, I had a fun weekend in New York. And we'll talk about the new policy, but because of the new policy, got into a couple extra classes that I had been waitlisted for. So I was only signed up to do two. One was with,
Nice.
one was with Aditi and one was with Emma. And then I was able to get into Maddie's, two runs with Maddie, literally at that, half-hour mark, and with your girl Jen Sherman. So it was fun to get to work out with her. And yes, she thought you were hiding in the background. And then, of course, we'll talk about it more. But Ben Alldis being at PSNY was really an experience. He is the kindest, nicest human being, and he was just so animated and excited to be in PSNY. It was fantastic to see. So we ran into him Sunday. So Sunday he had come in to do his sound checks and all that good stuff. And we were in Maddie's walk, and somebody had seen him and said, "Oh, I got to see him while you were in Maddie's walk." And then when we were having pictures with Maddie, they were walking him through to get him back to his hotel. And of course he was just mobbed. And we all got to chat and say hi. And then, of course, Maddie came over, and it was very cute to see the two of them interact with one another. Very, very cute to see that. And then it was so funny. I had stayed, we finished up, and I guess he had gone back to his hotel, and I'm go to the Whole Foods next door, and I'm kind of walking around, and I was getting some stuff to get together for drinks, and I hear this this British accent behind me going, "So what are we having for dinner tonight?" And he was standing in Whole Foods. I said, "Ben," I said, "you need to be incognito. You need a cap and glasses. You're going to get mobbed."
Yeah, he didn't have his handlers there with him.
He didn't
pushing
have his
people aside out of the way.
He's so adorable. So he was so lovely. He stood and chatted to me, gosh, for about 10 minutes. We spoke about Leanne. She was getting her hair done. He was telling me about that. He was telling me how she was very peeved that he got the first spot at PSNY and not her. But we had a lovely chat, and he was excited that I was going to be in the class the next day. So so it was kind of like a little added bonus that I got like some one-on-one time with Mr. Alldis in Whole Foods. Who would have thought? And then, of course, Monday in the studio with him was just so amazing. It was very sweet to see the instructors just rallying behind him, and everybody was hyped up, and the studio was buzzing. There were tons of Ben's Army folks in there. So one of his admin who lives out on the West Coast in Colorado, Lena Bender, Estonian chick, was celebrating her 5,000th ride. So it was really cool to have her in there, and there was a ton of his group, Ben's Army, in the ride as well. So that added to it and hyped everything up. So it was a really fun 2 days. I was just in the studio Sunday and Monday, and just saw so many friends that watch the show, and those that don't. And of course, when people were making a fuss of Pelo Buddy, and don't worry, Chris Lewis, I just told them that I was the face, and that there is somebody that is far smarter than me behind the scenes that puts this all out there. But folks, it was nice to be able to share the Pelo Buddy joy to those folks that didn't know about it. So yeah, all in all, it was wonderful to be back in the studio and being able to kind of get my groove back and be able to start working out again. But we'll share more of that with you in the body of the show. So before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you folks how we can keep you up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yep. And you can always listen to us in just traditional podcast format. If you happen to be on the go, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. Make sure you subscribe to us and hit notifications so you never miss an update or an episode. And please leave us a review. We love to receive those 5-star reviews from you. And we really appreciate a lot of the feedback that helps us improve the show technical wise and how we can add to it and build on it like we have with the picks of the week. So keep those coming.
Excellent. And of course, folks, we were on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, you name it, TikTok. Just search Pelo Buddy and follow us on all of those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right. Well, first story is a very inspiring and heartwarming one. So Peloton member Shaunta-Maé Alexander, about 3.5 years ago, she had developed a neurological condition after having an extreme reaction to propofol that essentially left her paralyzed from the waist down. And over the course of rehabbing and being in a wheelchair for a good portion of that time early on, she started training on the Peloton app. Started training with Tunde, and she started sharing her experience on social media and the official Peloton member page on Facebook. Fast forward a little bit, she got her bike in February of 2022, was able to, start riding again, having use of her legs. And then in December of 2022, she got her Peloton tread and started walking and basically was able to have full function of her legs from there. And just recently, she was surprised at the Peloton Studios by Tunde. Peloton Studios Instagram account recently shared a post of her surprising Shaunta-Maé in one of the back locker rooms, and kind of Tunde expressing all her gratitude for her story and her sharing all her posts of overcoming different physical obstacles that she surpassed through all her rehabbing to get back to the point where she is today.
Absolutely amazing story. I mean, I was, I did take a look at it through the Instagram post, and wow. All I can say is wow. After watching Susie Chan go through what she went through last week, to seeing something like this as well, just makes you realize that, what? It's all mental. You just got to put your mind to it.
Yeah, it's the triumph of the will.
Right? Isn't it incredible? So huge shout out. And it was honestly an honor to be able to, for us to report about her and share that, because it was just fantastic. All right. Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I was fortunate enough to finally get back into the studio after, some long months of not being able to work out properly. But things have changed. And it was interesting to see the things that changed, and they literally changed on the weekend that I got back into the studio. They knew that Seglo 3 was coming into town, but PSNY had implemented several changes to its in-person class procedures, and I think we can expect these changes to be enforced at Peloton Studios London in the future as well. I can't believe that they would do the one and not the other, because it does make sense. So last week, starting Thursday, July the 6th, the PSNY staff are now checking photo IDs for individuals who have booked their in-studio classes. So previously, you did not have to show your ID when you came in. You just gave them your name, and you were able to just go ahead and, go into your class. You get your band and you'd go into your class. But now they are, in fact, asking for ID, so that when somebody, checks in, they're making sure that it is, in fact, that person that's taking the class. And they've added it to the language of the list of disclaimers that is sent to members who have, in fact, successfully booked into the class, in-person class, stating that IDs will be checked at check-in for health, safety, and age verification purposes. So I clearly didn't read my emails well, because I didn't see it. And I was fortunate enough, as I said, to have gotten into classes. I was waitlisted for a couple. So it didn't impact me, but it did impact some folks that I knew that were going to be in the studio. And it was pretty nerve-wracking, because, some folks had traveled in, and friends had given them their spots because they couldn't make it. And they were quite strict about it. So they were,
and they're not transferable. You couldn't,
not transferable. Nope.
Back in the day before PSNY, you could easily, let somebody take your spot, switch it over. Those days of that are over now. So they just want you to give it up and then have it go to somebody on the wait list.
Correct. And I think what was even more interesting, John, was that they also, they had also, so a girl that I knew woke up on Sunday morning and had a fever, terrible fever. She had 6 classes booked between Sunday and Monday, and couldn't make it in. And she said, Amanda Siegel's there. I want to give her one of my classes. They wouldn't even do that. So the credits are transferable. So, you can transfer your credits, but not the booked classes. And I guess the reasoning, as I said, for that is they just said it's a liability issue for them. They don't want somebody going into somebody else's name, and God forbid something happens to that person and they don't know, who that person is on the bike. So, health and safety reasons is what they're basically saying. Secondly, there is a second change that they have to the waitlist process. So, if you have previously been waitlisted, you were given an electronic buzzer to notify you of an open spot. Now they are using cell phones for these notifications, which actually is really cool. So if you're waitlisted, you go in like an hour and a half. You can actually go in a little bit longer. As long as the instructor's name is up on the board, they will, kind of check you in for that waitlist position. You give them your cell phone number. They send you a text message. And then if you get on or aren't accepted onto the waitlist, you get another text message. So somebody said it's less humiliating if you're sitting around waiting, whether the buzzer goes off and you get really excited, or the buzzer doesn't go off.
Well, it's always
that.
It's always a bummer when they used to give you pagers, and then you wouldn't get on, and somebody would come over and collect them and nicely say, "Oh, exactly. if you're here, we'll take your pagers now."
Exactly. So it's less humiliating.
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing, John, is that it's now randomizing. They're randomizing the waitlist for the period immediately before the class. So, if you get on the waitlist, whatever, if you're 3 weeks out or whatever, you're getting on the wait list. But if you're managing to get onto the wait list and you're in the studio, it is completely randomized. It is not on a first come, first serve basis any longer. It's now that, basically folks that have just walked into the studio and have clicked the wait list there and then could potentially get on it versus somebody who may have been on the wait list, for a couple of days. So that was really interesting to see.
I also thought it was an interesting... I also thought it was an interesting point that there was a few comments on the Pelo Buddy post about the ID requirement, that there apparently someone had created some sort of bot or program to beat the system on the online booking for classes. So I thought that was an interesting reason for why they potentially could have the ID requirement, because I wouldn't put it past someone that's super tech savvy to figure that out and beat the system.
Yep, I was hearing grumblings about that being in the studio this weekend. There were, definitely some frustrated folks with, again, seeing the same faces over and over.
And I did find it interesting that Matty Majacomo the other day, he called out the people that, are spending the whole weekend there. And we know there's a few familiar faces that we're seeing a lot of. And again, I just thought it was interesting that he pointed out that, don't come bragging to us that you went to 8 classes this weekend, because we don't really think that's cool, because you're not sharing the wealth and giving somebody else the opportunity to take a class they can't get in.
And I think there is some validity to that. So I think if somebody is coming in from out of town, I think that in that respect, I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair that folks are getting the most out of their visit. But if you have a local that is literally in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they really want to spread the wealth. They want to be able to give more people a chance to be able to get into classes. And it makes sense. I mean, I got to tell you, I get it. I get it. And I know that our friend Melissa, Moms of Peloton, got a lot of backlash because she made a comment about it.
Well, she responded. She responded to she sort of applauded Maddie for saying, for making that comment, because some might think she goes there all the time, which she doesn't.
And she does not. She does not.
Right.
So I agree. I think there is definitely. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting how this ends up playing out. I know, again, this past Thursday, as the classes got loaded, the system crashed yet again, and folks couldn't get on for about 5 minutes to book classes, and and then everything kind of came up. So who knows? Who knows? And I will share. I didn't even tell Chris about this beforehand because it just came into my mind. So we can cut this out if we have to. But I think that we're going to see a lot more of the UK and German instructors in the studio over the summer. So definitely
at PSNY.
Keep an eye on those. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So a little birdie shared that apparently they are. So Ben had said to me that he would be back. He said he and Leanne. A lot of it has to do with visa issues.
Right.
Him and Leanne both have their visas. Obviously, Bradley has his visa. I think they were trying to get some of the other instructors set up. But Ben said when we were having our little chat in Whole Foods, he did say to me, he said, "Me, Amanda, I can't be off the bike for 8 weeks." He said, "I'm going to go crazy. I need to be able to continue to do this." So
makes sense.
I think it's a fantastic idea. It gives those folks that wouldn't necessarily have an opportunity. Not everyone can, fly across the pond and go work out in London. So it definitely is a great idea, and I do hope they follow through. I did make sure that I looked today to see whether anybody was on the schedule, and
any of the Brits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was nothing there. But anyway, so those are some updates for folks that are looking at going into the studio. And again, not to forget, if anybody from the UK or Germany frantically went on Thursday to try and book classes and didn't see them, just a reminder that the studio is going to be closed until the 22nd of September. So classes from this week, I believe it's from the 18th of August onwards, you wouldn't be able to get classes. So just in case somebody was confused,
Why the calendar's
and
empty?
forgot.
Yeah,
Correct.
gotcha.
And forgot, just to kind of throw that out there.
All right. Well, shifting a little bit to the Peloton app, we have a nice little change. You can now change the color of the Peloton app icon for iOS users. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone, an Apple device, you can change the default color. So you do have to have the most recent version of the app, which I believe is 15.59.0. So make sure you make sure your app's updated before you check if you haven't already. But with the updated version of the app, you can update the icon two different ways. You can do it directly from the app by tapping your profile icon in the bottom right, pressing the three little horizontal bars, and then select change app icon, or, which what I did, you can just press and hold the app icon directly on your iOS home screen. And then it'll contain a little shortcut, a little like drop down menu to change the icon. It'll take you right to the screen within the app to change the color. But there's 6 new options that you can change it. You can choose from. All with a background, mind you, but just different colors. So I changed mine back to the P is the pillow red. For me, that's what I changed to. Because mine is right next to my Peloton app is right next to TikTok, and
got it.
It was I was clicking one or the other accidentally a lot, so it just helps differentiate a little more when I'm looking, at my iPhone home screen. But nice. I'm sure Android, y'all will eventually get it, like you normally get things after us iOS users.
Well, I don't know. They got something before iOS users, and that's
they got the all filter. That's pretty much.
Well, no, but they also got a feature that now allows members to preview a class directly from the app. We don't get to do that on iOS yet. So as of now, the Android does allow you to have a look at a 45-second preview. It was available on the Peloton hardware devices for some time now, but this is the first time that it is has been made available on the app or the web browser. So with this update, the app users with Android can view, as I said, a 45-second preview before selecting a class. However, and this is actually interesting, unlike on the bike and tread devices, which allows members to view any portion of the class,
you can scroll all the way through and on the row.
You can. Yeah. The Android app only allows users to view a specific 45-second segment.
So it's just a random clip somewhere in the class. Exactly, it's not the first 45 seconds. Interesting.
And there's no sound. And there's no sound. So it's just video. So
that's lame.
I'm not sure what the benefit of that
is.
Yeah. So folks, when viewing the class detail page, you will now see a new icon at the top left of the screen. If you click that icon, it will play that 45-second preview. It includes 2 to 3 random predefined snippets from the class. As we said, currently only on the Android app. And it's not up for all classes. That's the other thing. I'm sure it'll eventually roll out to all classes, but it's actually not up for all classes at this time. It is expected though that it will expand to other classes and almost surely to the iOS app as well. But that was interesting.
Well, Peloton Entertainment, they giveth and then they taketh away. So we had mentioned on last week's, I'm sure you and John Mills were talking about it last week, about the entertainment tab on the Peloton hardware now with the addition of YouTube TV and Amazon Prime Video in the beta test space for some. Not everyone has access to it. But just recently, this past week, Amazon Prime disappeared. So now it's just YouTube TV currently on there. And I know there was a lot of people chiming in. They didn't really understand how the beta testing process works, how they can add and remove things randomly at different times. But yeah, so in regards to that Amazon Prime Video being removed, Peloton did make an official statement on the OPMP page on Facebook. They said streaming videos, it's currently being tested. It's something we call closed beta. During this time, members who are included in the beta test may experience changes, including streaming service availability. Blah, blah, blah. Beta test is focused on providing the best possible member experience, testing technology behind the new features, collaborating with our partners. So it'll come back. Maybe we'll see the addition of Netflix or some of the other popular streaming apps at some point, but it's just temporary. It was funny when I set up my mom on the tread earlier in the week, there was Amazon Prime Video on there. So I put on Schitt's Creek for her. And then a couple days ago, she wanted to use the tread again to walk and watch some more Schitt's Creek. And then all of a sudden, YouTube TV was on there. But luckily, we have YouTube TV. That's what we use for live TV, cable, and there's Schitt's Creek on there. So it was a seamless transition to the other app. But I'm a big fan of YouTube TV. For anyone that doesn't have it or isn't sure what it is, it's a great alternative to cutting the cable or having dish cable service.
Interesting. That's really, I didn't even know it was an option. I mean, I certainly, know there are other options out there, but I did not know that YouTube TV was an option. But I'm still on the cuteness of your mom being on the tread and watching Schitt's Creek.
and holding.
I don't know what it,
yeah. And I
right?
called her out. She was holding on to the bar at one point, and I posted her in my stories and I said, "No holding on, Ma." And I said, right, Rebecca Kennedy, because Rebecca, she loves to call people out in her hikes to not hold on to the railing or the bar, because it hurts your back. It's bad posture. It's not good. And then she defended my mom and said, moms can do whatever. She can do whatever she wants. Mom's rule.
I'm just really impressed to see her on there. She looks amazing, your mom. She really does. I mean, I don't know how old she is. But
70,
she looks amazing.
70. Coming up on 76 or 75, yeah.
Wow,
and she's done some low impact bike stuff, but it's funny, she does she dresses very nice, formal, so it's just she's in a button down in her nice slacks that she wears. Yeah, it's not like she goes into exercise clothes or anything that she has. So
you know what, John? She's moving her body, and that's so fantastic.
That's all that matters.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, sticking with Amazon, as we all know, the annual Amazon Prime Day sales happened this past week. They ran from July the 11th through the 12th, and they included significant discounts on various Peloton products and accessories. So the discounts were only available through Amazon, not Peloton's website. And the following items were discounts. It was about a $300 savings at $1,145. So it's significantly come down in price. I mean, it's just crazy. But the normal price, if you were purchasing it off the Peloton website, was $1,445. The Bike Plus was also on sale. That was at a 14% discount. So it was a $350 savings. Folks could pick that up for $2,145. They had the guide on there as well. That was discounted down to now you can pick up the guide for $165.75. But I mean, that's just crazy how it's significantly, gone down. The heart rate band was on there. They had that at a 50% discount. They had the cycling shoes. If you were looking for the original cycling shoes, the cycling shoes were still on there. That was at a 40% discount. The Ultra cycling shoes, the newer cycling shoes, those were also on sale. So they really had a nice bunch of stuff that folks could pick up and purchase. Unfortunately, neither the Peloton Tread nor the Row was available for sale. So if anybody was looking to try and get a bargain on the Row or the Tread, that was not up there for sale. But there were other accessories, apparel. There was tons of apparel stuff that were on there. So yeah, and of course, not to forget that this was for all Prime members, Prime membership of Amazon.
Shifting gears, Peloton has a new split strength program coming our way. So fans of the split strength training program are in for some really great news. There's 2 new programs that will launch at the end of the month, and UK-based instructors Ben Alldis and Jermaine Johnson will each launch their own second split strength program on the 31st of July. So for those or anyone that's unfamiliar with the split strength training program, they're different from traditional strength workouts in that instead of the class focus just being on an entire region of the body, like full body, upper, lower, core, the split strength classes target specific muscle groups that are identified within like the class title, such as chest or triceps or leg, back. The classes contained within the program are also typically a longer duration as well and designed to be taken over 1 week and repeated to build strength. So it's possible that the new split strength programs from Ben and Jermaine will be released to the Peloton Guide first and will remain exclusive for approximately 7 weeks, as some of that content previously has rolled out initially to the Guide first for exclusively for Guide users. But both Ben and Jermaine, they launched their first split strength training programs last October. And then there's also 4 split strength programs available currently with Robin, Arzon, Callie, Maddie, and Adrian. These were Peloton's debut split strength training programs, which launched back in early 2022.
All right, nice. Well, we also saw the launch of a new class series to celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop. So the series is called the Hip Hop Tour and will feature classes with music from 5 different regions. The schedule for the tour is as follows. So July 10th is West Coast. August 14th will be the South. September 18th will be Canada. October 4th, the Midwest. October 16th, Germany. November 27th, the UK, and rounding it off with December 11th being the East Coast. So the first stop on the virtual tour was the West Coast on July 10th with 2 live classes and 1 on-demand class. It was a 30-minute hip-hop tour West Coast ride in Spanish with Camila Ramon. That was on the 10th at 10 a.m. There was a 30-minute hip-hop tour West Coast ride with Alex Toussaint, which was at 7 p.m. Eastern, as well as a hip-hop run with Jess Siddons at 7:30 p.m. Yeah, so the schedule shows at least 2 classes on Monday, August the 14th, for the Peloton Hip Hop Tour of the South. It's a South hip hop tour, the South Ride with Dennis Morton on the 14th of August at 7 p.m. and a run with Marcel Dinkins at 7:30 p.m. So interestingly, the majority of the classes will be open to in-person participants, which is a special exception because as the studio is typically closed to members on Mondays following the afternoon classes. So all of these classes will allow folks to participate in them, which is kind of cool. So that's something different. All the classes will be added to Peloton's Hip Hop 50 collection, which also contains classes from Tupac, Pharrell Williams, Bad Boy, Entertainment, Little Kim, that artist series, as long, as numerous others. So if you love hip hop music, that's kind of a fun thing that they're doing.
Very cool. Well, we just got our most recent artist series. Peloton officially revealed the full details of their next artist series, which was showcasing pop icon Christina Aguilera. They revealed the news via Instagram, and it all took place this past Thursday, July 13th. It included a total of 14 classes across 9 modalities, which were offered in English, Spanish, and German. And we had a whole bunch. So the first one was released. There were some on-demand releases, but there was 20-minute upper body strength with Callie, a 20-minute row with Katie Wong, that was on demand as well. A 30-minute outdoor run with Bex that went OD. And then an on-demand 10-minute arms and light weights with Mila in Germany. In German. And then a on-demand drop with Jess Sims, a 30-minute bike boot camp, and also a 30-minute ride with Camilla that was released on demand and in Spanish. And then a 20-minute on-demand run with Mila, that's in German, a 30-minute run with Tobias Heinz in German, a 30-minute ride with Benny, that's also in German, and then a 30-minute tread boot camp with Jocelyn Thompson Rule that took place on the afternoon live of the 13th, and then a yoga flow that's 30 minutes with Anna Greenberg, and a 30-minute ride with Tunde that took place in the evening on Thursday, a 30-minute hike with Rebecca Kennedy. That was also an evening one that ran simultaneously at the same time as Tunde's ride. And then last but not least, a 10-minute Christina Aguilera cool down ride with Leanne that released on demand. And we first shared this news about the Christina Aguilera Artist Series a couple weeks ago when Peloton added some new Artist Series classes throughout the month of July to the studio booking site. And just to give a heads up, members can also look forward to upcoming series with Busta Rhymes and also with Motley Crue in the coming weeks.
Nice. Yeah, that Christina Aguilera series had a lot going. There was like a ton of options. I forget. Control Room can chime in here, but have we ever had an artist series with her before? I don't think so. I think this is the first, right?
I think so. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's a pretty big star. So that's awesome. That's awesome that they finally got her, on the platform. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. Well, I'm going to share the news. July 7th, Peloton's Library Purge, where classes filmed between October the 10th through the 25th of 2019. There were several classes, though, folks, that were spared, including the Pitbull and Jennifer Lopez Artist Series, as well as 2 signature Instructor Ride Series, so the Jess King Experience and the Sundays with Love with Ali Love. So the complete list of classes that was spared from the last round of classes include the 30-minute Pitbull ride with Ali Love, the 30-minute Jess Experience ride with Jess King. There was the 30-minute Pitbull run with Jess Sims, a 30-minute Jennifer Lopez run with Rebecca Kennedy. Let's see what else. The Sundays with Love ride that I mentioned with Ali Love. That one was spared. There was a 30-minute yoga flow with the DT Shah, the Jennifer Lopez yoga flow, as well as a 20-minute Jennifer Lopez full body toning with Hannah Corbin. There was also the 2-for-1 ride, the Robin Arzon and Jess King, Jennifer Lopez 2-for-1 ride. There was actually a second Jess King Experience ride from the 17th, as well as the Sundays with Love from the 20th. So you can head over to Pelo Buddy, pelobuddy.com if you really do want the full list of what was spared. Because what I'm starting to see, John, is as we're getting kind of closer to the 20s, there are more classes that are being spared versus being purged. So back in the, So I'm definitely starting to see a list of more classes coming up. And I guess a lot of them Control Room was just saying that more artist series started happening, and therefore, they were looking to be able to add those in because folks do like the artist series classes. So that does make sense.
We're getting closer and closer to one of my favorite 5-minute cool downs with Dennis. And it's only 5 minutes, but it basically, the whole cool down is the entire track of the Grateful Dead's Touch of Grey. So it's known as the Touch of Grey cool down. And it's from January 28th, 2020. it's when Dennis still had, he still had the man bun and the long hair.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know that's, especially with the deadheads, that's a very popular one. And I love to take it and then I just delete it. I don't, usually keep that in my workout history. But I did relay that class to the powers that be at Peloton to plead with them to hopefully spare that. It's only 5 minutes, so hopefully that one gets saved when the time comes, when their date range falls in there.
Right, but I think being an artist series, part of an artist series, hopefully they will keep it.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just a random.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's just a random 5-minute
Sorry.
cool down. So from 23rd Street.
Got it.
So it could be. It could very well be on the chopping block. So hopefully they'll spare it. But I'm not going to get my hopes up too high. So.
Yeah. Oh,
So.
gosh. All right.
All right.
You'll have to tell Dennis to re-record it.
Yeah, and grow his hair back out.
No man bun.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Anyway, shifting gears to Peloton on Tour happened this weekend in Los Angeles. It was the first stop of this 5-city tour around the world that Peloton is doing now in replacement of Peloton Homecoming, which was the live in-person event that they used to do the first weekend of May every year before COVID happened. But Peloton also announced an additional event that took place over the weekend in Los Angeles. They shared the news on the Peloton Studios Instagram account. But at the time of recording, the only information shared was that the additional event would take place at the University of Los Angeles, UCLA campus, at Bruins Plaza at 2 p.m. local time there in LA on Friday, July 14th. There was a note that attendees should come ready to sweat, so I'm sure it was some sort of outdoor class. There was no RSVP information, so it was giving the indication that you could just show up without registering in advance, and there'd be no cost to attend, whatever it was. Camilla Ramon had shared in her Instagram stories that all 5 instructors are planning to be there, and it would be around a 30-minute class that would be taught. Although it's not expected to be recorded and streamed on the Peloton platform, rather just a large public group class that they would do. But Adrian, Ben Alldis, Katie Wong, Camilla, and Kendall, who are all a part of this tour, would all be there for this particular event that took place on Friday. The itinerary for the Peloton on Tour LA, it includes 3 signature events: the Peloton Instructor Experience, outdoor walks and talks, and a Peloton class tapings. We have the details of the full weekend on pelobuddy.com and our write-up of the whole overview of it. Peloton on Tour was announced just back in June of 2022 and is serving as the replacement, like I said, for the Peloton Homecoming, which previously, before it became Peloton Homecoming, was HRI. It was known as Home Rider Invasion back when, Peloton was basically just the bike. So it was all about the riders coming in to meet in Manhattan, in the early days of the company.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see, the posts, and I'm sure we'll have a lot more to report on and talk about after this, inaugural weekend of the event, and see how it goes.
Yeah, the social media stuff's been fun and definitely been following along. They all seem to be getting on really well, which was great.
Yeah,
it's a kind of
snippets and stories at the
different group
airport, and then getting on the shuttle bus together. Yeah.
And of course, their Barbie museum experience
with Adrian
was fun in itself.
And Ben, yeah.
Of Adrian and Ben. Oh my goodness, how fun. It's got to be fun for Kendall to be back in, on the West Coast. And of course, Camilla lived in Santa Monica too. So, and if I'm not mistaken, did Katie Wong, I think she was up in San Francisco.
She's a San Francisco, North California
That's
girl.
what I thought. She was a North California girl. Yeah. Yep. So, so fun. And, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for those folks that were able, to get into stuff and are able to be there, because I think it's going to be, whatever it is. I mean, we're hearing mixed reports, as John said. We'll have more to report on next week. I'm excited. Maybe we'll even have somebody that was there and attended, all the events, be able to come on the show and even share a little bit, because that could kind of be fun to get to hear it firsthand. I know that I met somebody in the studio this weekend that was going to be there. So
I wonder if Susie Toole or Kendall's dad, I can't remember her name, will be there for some of her.
Yeah, that could be fun. I wonder if they'll go. Yeah, that could be fun. So, I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. All right, changing gears completely. Peloton has introduced a new financing option for folks in the US. So this is now going to be through Citizens Pay. It's in addition, it's not replacing, it's in addition to the existing financing option through Affirm, which all of us that have used the financing are financing their hardware with. The key difference, though, between the two is that Affirm provides closed-end installment loans for individual purchases of the products, while Citizens Pay offers a revolving line of credit that can be used for multiple purchases. So basically, this is how the two options work. The Affirm one, customers repay the loans in monthly installments to Affirm. The loan is tied to a specific device. The Citizen Pay option, you will repay installments each month. The credit line replenishes and can be then used for other eligible Peloton purchases. So definitely a way of kind of keeping folks in there if they're, have the bike and now want to go ahead and get the tread or the row. It gives them an option to be able to do that. The terms offered are 12, 24, 39, and 43-month options. It also has a 0% down and a 0% APR for the first 12 months. It's 4.99 for the 24, 39, and 43 months. It is important to note that the Citizens Pay requires a hard credit check, which may impact your credit score and will be reflected on your credit reports for approximately 2 years.
I feel like it used to be it used to be a soft hit previously.
Correct.
With Affirm,
Affirm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the Citizens option, it's a hard inquiry. Gotcha.
Well, we've all seen, the interest rates skyrocket over the last, year or two. So it does make sense, just the banks protecting themselves. Customers should either select to pay over time during checkout, complete the application for Citizens Pay, and select their payment plan and repayment method. So, if anybody is interested in still looking to purchase, this is a great way, for you to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, always have plenty of options to get the hardware. And I still have referral codes. I have a couple slots left. So hit me up if you need a referral.
It blows my mind. Yeah, I have all of mine. I don't think anybody's using my codes anymore, which is okay.
I know. I've dried up as of late. Anyway.
All right. Well, John, I think we are going to go right into Instructor in the News. And I will kick it off with the Peloton On Tour LA crew that you just spoke about, Ben, Kendall, Katie, Camilla. Although Adrian seemed to have not gotten the memo to this one, but the others, he was teaching, Control Room was telling us, he was teaching a class that night.
Yeah, he missed out.
SOL for Adrian, but they got to have a very fun night on Tuesday. They were invited to the premiere of the Mission Impossible
Dead Reckoning
movie.
Part 1.
And my apologies, it was not Tuesday, it was Monday night, I believe. It was Monday night. And they were seen, the best part about it is that they were seen casually hanging out with none other than
TC
Tom
himself.
Yeah. But he didn't look so short. He
Yeah.
actually because Ben is really tall. Ben is 6'2", and he seemed to fit in there really well. But it was really cool to see
Tom,
them
yeah,
kind of just hanging
he
out.
probably had some lifts of some thick-soled shoes for that red
Maybe
carpet
platform
because he's
shoes.
not that tall.
One of my platform shoes are great. Oh my God, I'm cracking up. But yeah.
And on a personal
I thought
note,
that was hysterical.
I saw the Mission
Yeah.
Impossible movie it was kind of weird. It opened, I think, on Monday night or this past Tuesday, because I took my mom, Jackson, and Jackie to see it this past Tuesday night. Amazing movie.
Nice.
Amazing movie.
Oh,
Highly
really?
recommend it. Yeah, so good. And the next one comes out, part 2, Dead Reckoning, comes out at the end of June next year. So hope, we don't have to wait the crazy amount of time to see the next installment. But it was fantastic.
I got to tell you, John, I don't remember the last time I went to a movie theater.
Oh.
And that's the kind of movie you want to see in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I'm sure it was action packed and so fun. Was it so fun?
Yeah, we saw it on our local theater has something called IMAX. So it's a big, massive, massive like IMAX, but it's called IMAX. So it's a big immersive experience.
Nice.
But yeah, you got to see it really on the big screen to appreciate it. I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer's coming out next weekend, Christopher Nolan's next masterpiece. So I'm seeing that at IMAX in 70 millimeter because, the cinephile that I am has to really appreciate that format. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that it's tough to watch. That one's going to be tough to watch. I was reading some reports of it. But as far as Mission Possible, I think maybe it's so hot this weekend. I think maybe that's something we may end up doing.
So much fun.
Movies, as I said, in forever. All right, that's going to be date night. I love it. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. So next up, Jess Sims just recently announced a new partnership with U.S. Bank. Just this past week, U.S. Bank announced they were increasing their support of women's athletics and women leaders by way of 2 new sponsorships. The first being Minnesota Lynx forward Nafisa Collier and Jess Sims, who they, in their press release, they list her as, they describe her as Peloton trainer, Good Morning America contributor, ESPN College Game Day reporter, and New York Liberty host. Both are multi-year sponsorships. Chris Lee, who's the senior VP and head of sponsorships for U.S. Bank, stated, Fee and Jess will bring an awesome presence to our work, not only with the league, but also with our employees and community partners. Collier and Sims will help U.S. Bank with its financial wellness programs and partnerships as part of its WNBA Changemaker sponsorship focused on empowering women leaders through financial wellness programs. Specifically, they will serve as ambassadors to conduct outreach and awareness around financial wellness to U.S. Bank employees and other WNBA players and the community at large.
Very nice. Jess Sims is definitely getting quite a resume there.
Yeah,
her belt.
She's got a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah, it's impressive. Well, our very own Maddie appeared in an article in Magazine, which is an LGBTQ community publication out of Canada. Maddie spoke about his passion for fitness and life. He shared his journey with Peloton, his approach to selecting music for his classes, and his commitment to living
authentically.
Couldn't get the word out.
Tripped you up.
Authentically. I am sorry. I could not get that word out. Because I wanted to say it because he does live his life so authentically that it was, I was trying to say it in a passionate way.
He's not afraid to give his opinion, which I love.
And I love it.
Especially about horse-drawn carriages in New York City. He's very anti.
Right.
I love to see that.
Right. Well, he did talk about his activism and role models, including his family, several drag race queens. He's very vocal about that too. He emphasized the importance of love in combating hate and encouraged people to vote and be aware of politicians or policies that could harm queer people. And I love that he, again, was just so vocal and so authentic in that. But he also shared his personal workout routine, which includes movement 6 days a week, heavy lifting 4 times a week, and daily use of the Peloton app for core and yoga classes. And he does post that a lot on his social media. We often see that he'll talk about the app and how he uses that.
Yeah.
He advised people to incorporate strength, cardio, and flexibility into their fitness routine, and to do what they love. But looking ahead, he shared that he is exploring parenthood with his partner, Evan, which I thought was so lovely to see, and was very open about that. He is also co-writing a novel with his mom, Elise. So I think should be something so fun. As you know, he adores his mom and talks about her often when he's on the tread. And the two of them have been spending time writing a novel. So he says he remains open to whatever opportunities the future may bring. So, so lovely. And what a nice way of ending off the news portion and Instructor in the News of the show. And I guess, John, we are going to run through the class picks of the week, and I'll have you go ahead and start them off.
All right, well, kicking it off, we got Jeffrey McEachern's 30-minute Luke Bryan walk, which was in German from July 6th. We got this from RAQ 0618. They said even though it was in German, his energy and joy shine through. And then Marcel Dinkins, 30-minute 2000s run, also from July 6th. We got this from A. Branner. They said her playlist and energy were both great in this class. And then switching to strength, we got Logan Aldridge's 20-minute Luke Bryan glutes and strength, also from the 6th. We got this from RAQ 0618 as well. They said fun programming and great music.
Awesome. And then we had that 2-for-1, Ross Rayburn and Tunde. They did that 15-minute focus flow for riders. We spoke about it last week, but it was a pick of the week for Yogi 24 Dan. They said, so fun to see Tunde following along with Ross. And this one was from July the 7th at 10 a.m. Kendall Toole's 45-minute rock ride. That was from the 9th, and this one was a pick for Estonian Chick and Peachy Tea. Tough ride, but lots of great laughs too. Energy was amazing. Kendall looked absolutely gorgeous, and playlist A+. And then Benny Adami did his 20 minutes The Beatles ride. This was now in German. It came to us from DE Rider 28. They said, great to see some of these artist series getting that German versions of them now. And this one was from the 9th of July at 8:30 a.m.
Someone mentioned to me that I should check out the Dennis and Matt Wilper's 2-for-1 yoga, because they said Dennis acts so annoyed with Matt the entire time.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I've been meaning to check it out, see if there's any good clip where maybe I should just do the class, but I was gonna, pull it up just to see if there's any meme-worthy moments that I could share. But yeah, I'll definitely have some more to report on that next week.
Take a look at that. Too funny.
So next up, Bex Gentry's 16-minute pop run from the 9th. Got this from eCamp 107. They said great music, words, and energy. Jen Sherman's 30-minute sold-out show ride from the 9th. Got this from Rosreich 1712. She said great playlist and shouts and fun riding with friends in person like Amanda.
It was a really fun ride, I have to tell you. The music was just amazing. It was great to be in studio. She's so lovely. She is just so lovely, Jen. She put in a great sold out show. I wish it had been longer. 30 minutes was just not enough. Needed to be a 45 or 60 minute.
Yeah, you need at least 45 minutes with JSS on Sundays, 45 or 60.
Definitely.
Back in the day, she would do a 45-minute class, and then 50 minutes later, she would do a 60-minute class, in the 23rd Street days. I miss those, those Sundays.
I did too. I definitely could have been longer, but it was so fun. And obviously I love doing it with Roz. She's such a sweetheart.
Well, hopefully she's going to be, I haven't heard any word from her yet or any hints, but hopefully Yacht Rock is going to be, because we're right middle of the summertime and there's been no talk of Yacht Rock. So I know a lot of folks are wondering when that's coming. So hopefully we get it pretty soon. And then, yeah, I'll take the round out the three here. Mariana's 30-minute house yoga flow from the 9th. We got a bunch of people love this one. Mexi Cali Girl, Tesla Poppy, La Pelo Teach, MS Dude 85, Work Hard, Get Fit. They said great all around, great poses, great message, and great playlist.
Fantastic. And then we go right into Logan Aldridge's 30-minute power walk. It was from the 10th. Estonian chick who was live in studio got to do this. And she said, Logan made us work, but made it fun at the same time. I had the best time celebrating my milestone with some Pelo royalty at the studio. And that was from the 10th.
Was that you, Pelo royalty?
No, I couldn't get into Logan's. I was so bummed. So I was not able to get into it. Nope. But I did get into Ben Alldis's 30-minute 90s rock ride, live and direct from PSNY. That was on the 10th at 1:30 p.m. And this one came from me, our friend Daisy Mack, Monica, of course, Estonian chick, and twin. This was Ben's class he taught from PSNY before heading to the Peloton on tour. Ben's army was represented in full force, and Ben brought the energy, love, and the best 90s rock bangers. Feeling incredibly fortunate to have this experience. There with Ben and all my Pelo friends. We'll never forget that 5,000 ride milestone in New York City. So true what Ben says. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you, spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life. And I got to tell you, John, it was truly, truly an epic experience to be able to be in there. The vibe in the studio was amazing. Ben was on top form. And I kind of, you guys know I'm not a huge rock fan. I don't mind 80s. I wasn't sure about 90s. Oh my God, he picked the best songs. The music was incredible. The playlist was just banging. Absolutely fantastic. It was a good one. It was a good one.
What was your favorite track in that banging playlist? What stood out?
You were going to ask me that.
Come on, there's got to be one.
Pearl
Jam, U2.
I'm terrible with music.
I'm putting you on the spot. We'll move on.
And you're totally putting me on the spot. And now I'm embarrassed because now I got to go in there and take a look and see. And thanks, John. I love you too. You're really great. All right. What was my favorite song? Oh, Oasis. Wonderwall. I know all the words to that song. I was able to sing it. That was definitely, I forgot about that one. It was a great playlist. He had Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge. He had What's My Age Again, Blink 182, Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life, Thunderstruck, AC/DC. He didn't have any U2 in there, actually. He had Nirvana.
I didn't think Thunder. I'm surprised Thunder. I didn't think Thunderstruck was a '90s. I thought Thunderstruck came out in the '80s. But anyway, we're getting off.
Maybe it was on a tangent. Maybe it was an early '90s. But it was awesome. It was awesome, and I could enjoy the music, and that was great. All right, moving on. Jess Sims, her 30-minute hip hop tour, West Coast run, from the 10th. This one was recommended by Habitual Runner. They said amazing playlist and vibes in this class. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the next one because it was mine too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. John Husking did a 20-minute pop classical walk. And this one was recommended by both me and my friend Pedal to Paris, Jamie Brooks. It was exactly what I needed. I was definitely feeling it on Tuesday when I got home because my body hadn't quite worked out as much, it just having kind of gotten back into it. And this was just a super, super chilled, fun walk. His playlist was just incredible. He had Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, Material Girl, some, but they were all classical tunes.
Eurythmics, yeah.
a sky full of stars, the piano guys, blinding lights. So yeah, if you just want to chill, maybe on a recovery day, just do it, because the music was fantastic, and definitely worth taking.
Nice. Next up, we have Camilla's 30-minute intervals run from July 11th. We got that from Dippin.22 and S. Veldy. They said fun, fast-paced playlist. And then switching to the tread boot camp, we have Selena's 45-minute tread boot camp full body, also from the 11th. Got this from LA Pelo Teach, or La Pelo Teach. And they said, if you're looking for a tough class, this is it. I'm still dead from it. And then Toon Day's 30-minute low impact ride from July 12th. Got that from Mushy Sammy. They said, perfect ride for recovery, but still getting a good sweat in.
Awesome. And then rounding it off, we had Matty Majacomo's Walk and Talk, his 30-minute pop walk from the 12th at 9 a.m. This one came from KDF Carey. Lots of laughs, plus many milestones and birthdays. And I have to tell you, I rarely miss a 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. You will always find me in Matty's Walk and Talk. And this one did not disappoint. He was hysterical. I mean, if anybody follows me on social, you got to see him talking about the Peloton cruise. Oh my God, do you know how many people called me up afterwards and said, when is it? Like, is it happening? Is it happening? He did say that he did not think he could do a cruise with all us crazies. He said he doesn't think he'd ever be able, he didn't say crazies. I said to him, you probably wouldn't want to do this with all us crazies. But it was so funny. He was talking about how he loves the all-you-can-eat buffet, although he's never been on a cruise. But he spoke about how he doesn't think that a cruise and Peloton people would be a good idea.
I mean,
I think it's a brilliant idea.
They have new kids on the block.
Chris Lewis?
They have new kids on the block
What?
Cruises. I mean, they have.
Well, he spoke about the
Star
Hallmark.
Trek cruises.
Well, he spoke about there's a Hallmark cruise that's coming next year in November, the 20 in 2024. So that was how it got started, where he spoke about that, and then he kind of went on a tangent about the Peloton cruise. And I mean, I just grabbed. I felt like you, John. I was able to grab all the sound bits and put together a cute reel because it was just fantastic. So yeah, that one is not one to be missed. Another just fun recovery day walk. That one was hard actually. He had a ton of hills in that walk, so it was actually quite a hard walk. And then to end it off, Jamie, Pedal to Paris recommended Emma Lovewell's 30-minute 2000s ride. It was from the 12th, 5:30 p.m. She said the playlist was all songs of the summer from the 2000s year. I was dancing and singing too much to follow her call out, but it's a challenging ride if you want to keep up with the metrics. So again, folks, thank you so much for giving us these amazing, amazing workouts. And yeah, I think that is it, John. Not bad. We got that done in record time. We did. All right. Well, folks, I hope that maybe next week we'll be able to share more with you on Peloton on Tour LA edition and find out all the little insider information. We'll see if we can get somebody perhaps on the show that can share some of their experiences, because I think it'll be fun to hear more. And I guess we'll have to wait and see when Atlanta goes up, which will probably be next week. Am I right, Control Room? Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll tell you folks about Atlanta and who you can expect there. I have a hunch. I think I know who's going to be there. So that can be fun. I don't know if we want to spill any beans. Do we want to spill any beans, Chris Lewis? I know who's going to be there. I think we're gonna see Alex and Chelsea, Kirsten and Wilpers, and special guest star Bradley Rose. So that is what I am hearing as to who is going to be in Atlanta. Let's see whether you can say HIHF and if I'm right. But if any of you are listening and you are excited about Atlanta, I know there are so many amazing Pelo members there. Be on the lookout next week. You're going to get your options to pick what you want.
May the odds ever be in your favor.
Exactly, exactly. All right, folks. Well, I guess that wraps it up. John, it was always lovely to do this with you. I'm
Likewise.
glad we have you back. And yeah, folks, I guess we will see you soon from me here in Maryland. Bye for now, everybody.
From me here in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in, listening, and watching. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.